changed. Okay, all right. So
A lot of change.
we are back. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindminx Show. I am your favorite Minx, and we are at the new home of the Mindminx Show. I had the only rule of do not disturb, and the first thing that you do is hear me with my phone. I had one rule. Sorry. All right, so we got some homework, so I just want to take care of the homework part of it first. I'm going to give a shout out to the official sponsor of the Mindminx Show, Jason Fitness, located in Fairfield, New Jersey. I am a Jason Fitness athlete, so make sure you go check them out. And actually, not to put a big goose egg in there, but we might be doing a meet and greet. So if you'd like to meet me or my trainers, start paying attention because we might be doing that soon. So
Okay. I do want to do it.
you definitely?
I'm coming.
Oh, okay.
Angry. That means you got to have like a paper signing. You don't have to have a book, just a paper signing.
Just a paper signing? Well, we'll be signing some sports equipment, some weightlifting stuff. So, well, so I just want to, by the way, completely forget to introduce my guest because he's not my guest, he's my friend. And
Oh, that was so cool.
So this is Etcetera.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Listen, that's all I care about is how you doing. You're fine and I'm fine. Then the interview's over. All right, have a nice night.
Well, let's do a little background. So you and I got to meet years ago now. And
it wasn't that long ago, but
it was years.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like, honestly, it feels like
yesterday.
Yes. And,
it was pre-COVID.
It was not pre-COVID. It was post-COVID. Yeah. It was like 2021.
Oh.
But still, it's been years.
That's right.
So here's the thing. I got to interview you. You were one of my very first in-person interviews. I think you were my third interview ever in studio. And you were my first recording artist interview. So there was a lot of firsts there. There's been a lot of firsts since then, too, because I got my first piece of merchandise with my logo on it because of you.
Oh.
That was 100% because of you.
That was real. Yeah, was it?
Yes, because I also got to do the store opening for Do You Boo, which I'm wearing today at American Dream Mall. I got to host that for you.
That's my daughter's clothing line.
Yes,
Thank
K-Marie
you.
Project.
That's right.
Shout out.
Because I said I wanted you to host it.
Yeah.
I said, because you did a great job with our interview. I was like, you know what would be great when we were talking in the meeting? I said, Minx would be great. They're like, talking about? I said, you got to see it. And when you came, you did an amazing job.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
That's on there. On kmarieproject.com, you're the first face that comes up on
I
there.
know. I saw that. I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, that's my mug. Yeah. That's my mug on there.
Interview was incredible. It was incredible.
And then fast forward.
Yes.
I got to do media coverage for you.
Yes.
At New York Fashion Week.
Right in the middle of Times Square.
That was huge.
Yeah. I performed the song off BMF. Is the Mic On? Season 2, episode 2. And you did the whole coverage.
Yeah.
Because the radio station that I have now, I Am Etcetera Radio, which is right there.
Yep.
It's a shameless plug, but I'm still going to plug it. With BPM Beats 1 and iHeartRadio and my man, DJ Brooklyn Rich, they are out there and you covered the whole show.
Yep.
And
that was a day.
Very, very, that was a day. Big shout out to James Corbett and the whole team out there. Fashion Week experience.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a day. Yeah, that was a long day.
That was a fun day. Shout out to Chris Abalo, who was my cameraman that day.
Big Chris.
Yep.
Big Chris. he tolerated us for that day.
Yes, he did.
I really appreciate him for that. Yes.
Yeah. So that was, and the only other thing that would have been a first, and I rewatched our first interview.
Yes.
And I said in there, because I asked you if you had made a video for one of your songs that we played on the show. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mix Vibes Radio. And I asked you if you had made a music video for it, and you said yes. And I was like, I love music videos. I love watching me. And so, like, when I tell you this next part of the story is hysterical to me, because you also gave me my first opportunity to be in a music video.
Yeah.
That I chickened out on.
Well,
I know. Okay. I 100% chickened out.
You're not. I'm a positive person. So I don't say you chicken out. I said this probably wasn't the right video or the right framing for you. Or the character. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have played the correct character.
Yeah,
in
I would
this
have been in
video.
my head. I would have been in my head. And, you know, I've gotten to see snippets that you've posted, and I was like, yeah, no.
Do you think I'd have had a lot of blooper reel?
Oh my God, that I would have had all the
You think
blooper reels.
I'm just saying, I've had a lot of bloopers, but it's all right. Big, you know, Will is like my videographer. He's like my man. Will the Beats. He would have gave me a nice little B reel for you, and I'd have sent it to you with a nice soundtrack.
That would have been like the director. You know how like every movie has different
director's
director's cut?
But you know what? I don't think you'd have did that bad, because it's, you know, when it comes to videos, we spend like hours shooting videos to edit it down to like maybe like a 2-minute, 3-minute shot. I think if we would have just placed you in certain areas, you'd have did just fine. You know. You're just gonna let it be quiet. So, okay, don't worry about it. But next time. But that's why I said I want to do the interview now, because right after the video, I'm gonna play this, and we can simultaneously just say, you know, you couldn't make the video because we were doing this interview.
Yes. So I couldn't make the video because I needed to plan this interview.
Exactly. See?
There you go.
That's that publicist talk. Got you.
Well, so let's talk about this album, which you have on your on this shirt right there.
Yes.
The Sagittarius album. Well, first of all, how many albums do you have in total now?
Technically, I have studio albums. I have 3.
3?
Yes, I have 3 studio albums. I have multiple features, multiple outside projects, and really I could say only one of my own mixtape that really sparked all of this.
Okay.
Like for being a solo artist, it sparked one mixtape called Characters Welcome, where it highlighted songs that I've always wanted to be on, or I thought I would be better on.
Okay.
Or always want to be on, let me phrase that again, and songs that I actually featured on. That did a huge amount of numbers. So it sparked into an album called Character, you know, and I took that from Cartoon Network, Characters Welcome. You know, I thought that'd be a nice twist, and then the album dropped Character, and, you know, millions after that.
Wow.
It was dope.
Wow.
Dope. I really appreciate everyone that purchased that album. The album was very, I put a lot of heart and soul into a lot of the projects. Then I did singles in between, and then this new album, Sagittarius, which is like, you know, is really, really good. I got nothing but rave reviews. And, you know, I'm like my worst critic, but then I noticed that, you know, I'm not being criticized. It's actually a world album. So it has I cover multiple genres. And this album, I wanted to show, like with the last one, I wanted to show all the parts of the world I've been to, from like overseas, you know, Asia, China, the continents, the States. I picked certain music, and, you know, it lets you know that I'm not local. That's what this album does. Let you know that I've done a lot of touring.
Wow. So it's interesting that you have that take on it, because that was also a similar take for the type of music that you do. You don't like to kind of box yourself into one culture. I remember we were talking about like how you really take influence from like Dolly Parton, and it was more the words behind the music as opposed to the audience in front of the music. And I thought it's really poignant that's kind of that's your MO. Like you stay in character for that.
I do. I try. The thing about it is I grew up listening to country western in the very beginning, and then I went to disco, then I went to pop music, and then I went to hip hop.
Do you think that's like a part of our generation though? Because I feel the same way. I feel like that newer generations kind of tend to niche themselves into different music genres, whereas I feel like Gen X, we kind of do get to enjoy all of those. Like for me, it's everything, not the country, but more like the you know, the 40s and 50s doo-wops music. I love that as much as I love.
Like I listen to a lot of Fred Astaire, I listen to a lot of jazz music, like Herbie Hancock and, the Earth, Wind and Fire and Grover Washington's. I think because I grew up with music and, it cultured me. And I used to tell my father sometimes, I don't want to hear that. But then after listening and knowing the feeling that music brings, that's things I wanted to translate in my music. Not so much of trying to copy a style, but I've always wanted to copy an emotion or copy a feeling, because that's what transcends music. Like the song I have, So Long, right now, that song is still charting. That song is still selling because not only does it, sound good, and not only is it a great song, it provokes an emotion and it's timeless. Music I wanted to make was timeless. So locking myself into one genre is sort of defeative to me. Like, that's why I'm Etcetera and not, MC or
right.
James Woods or something. No pun on James Woods, just something I said. But, Etcetera is who I became. It's not just a name, it's who I became. And I see a lot of people out there, but, I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Like on my Instagram, the real Etcetera, only one.
Yep.
And people see that. I'm like, what? Because I've embodied that. And the music translates. And the people that purchase the music are not local. Like I'm from New York. I'm originally from Brooklyn. So, but I get sales from like Argentina. I get sales from like Zurich. I London based. I get sales. Listen, I'm looking for the first sale from Mars. Yeah, I'm looking for that first sale from Mars.
Okay, all right.
So
you put it onto the universe.
Yeah,
so.
listen, they gotta listen. If we could stream, we can purchase. If they can press click, it could come from
There you
Mars,
go.
Saturn, or I was going to say Uranus, but pause.
But
yeah.
bump.
But I want certain things that I do. I want to make sure that it lives beyond me. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure it lives beyond me. So even down to the way I look, down to my image, down to
Let's not talk about how you look today.
Well, I don't stay stuck in that. I don't stay stuck like hip hop artists should look like.
Right.
No, I'm not only a hip hop artist. I'm a recording artist.
Right.
Because I do even more than that. I do more than do hip hop in that genre.
Well, so that's when I did the description for the outline for today's show.
Oh.
I did not put hip hop artist. I did not put rapper. I just put musical artist because to me, you encompass a lot of different aspects of the entire industry. And that's the absolute truth. You're a writer, you're a performer, you're a producer. Like you've worn every hat.
I'm trying. I believe that that's what music is all about. Like music is a platform. And if you don't expand or diversify, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Like I have a talent and I figure, my grandma always told me, if you never use your talents, they go away.
Yeah, they're 100% go away.
Right. So she said, use that smart mouth you have. Use that great personality you have. Use the talents that you have to become the individual you want to become. I like that. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt too.
That was great. And I wanted to just remind you of something that happened last year that at least you are you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
everywhere I go, I try to be.
Well, but it's interesting. You know how like people put up personas, like, obviously Minx is a persona. Like I'm such a prude. Like what you see here is not what I really am in real life. So, but for you, I remember when we got to go after New York Fashion Week, we went to a rooftop party and one of the models, who's this young, beautiful girl, I think maybe she was 10. At most, she was 10. Yeah. We were sitting on the rooftop, and she came up to you, and she's like, "Excuse me, but can I just tell you that I'm such a huge fan of yours, and I'm trying to emulate you." And I'm like, listening. Like, I literally stood there speechless watching this little girl. It wasn't like it was someone who was trying to get in your pants or let you get them into theirs. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like that. This little girl was a genuine fan of yours.
Oh, Alexa. Yeah. I remember her name, Alexis Willis.
Yes.
Yes. she brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was really beautiful to watch.
I wish I could have videotaped that.
Well, so here's the thing. I video everything, but because I was in like such awe, I was just watching what was happening. So for like the first time ever, I didn't think to like pick up my phone and record. But yeah, no,
If you was in awe, imagine how I was. That means what you do it translates.
Yeah.
And it, transcends ages. So when people say, oh, you do music for this person. No, I don't. I do music for everyone from Alexa's age.
Yeah.
To whoever listens. And, 13 million people actually watch everything I do. So I'm very careful. And I think I got that because I'm an older brother. Like I have younger sisters.
Okay.
And I've always watched what I've done because my sister told me, and now she's a doctor, Dr. Ajaya Williams, but she says, I grew up watching everything you did, and you have never disappointed me, the way you handle yourself, the way and I never really understood, but she said, even when you are Etcetera, you conduct yourself in a way that I'm very proud. And I'm proud to call you my brother. And I was like, I said, y'all just like seeing me cry, right? Y'all do this to me. But and that's the way I feel. And I think that's where companies come and they seek me out. And they said, I want to be a part of that. And I want to be a part of what you're doing because you just don't fall into that category. Mm-hmm. And you have and plus, you got to have some type of prestige to yourself. You got to have you hold yourself in some type of regard. I'm an amazing artist. Like, I'm an amazing person. And I don't do that to be braggadocious.
No, you have to.
But I treat everyone, I put everyone on a pedestal until they knock themselves off.
Right. And it's not your fault that they knock themselves off.
Yeah. I mean, that's up to them. People say, oh, I don't like what you did. You don't have to. But however, you can never say that I didn't say, I don't reach my hand back out. I don't do the whole, I love being an artist. I don't know how it is to be a star. People call me that, but I don't know how, because So
you have, you're humble as well.
Yeah, humility is a big key to this. Sometimes I'm too humble because people think they could take advantage of you. And sometimes I have to tell them, we don't shoot at the same basket. Even though we're on the same court, we don't shoot on the same basket.
Love that.
Or even though we're on the same stage, we don't go on at the same time.
Right. Oh, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
So, and that's what we have to understand. There's a fork in the road at one point in time. And don't get me wrong, I worked hard to get to the other side of the fork. It wasn't something that I just, woke up in the morning and, I worked hard. So when people tell me, oh, you didn't go platinum the first week. But I did go platinum. I did sell millions. I don't have to go platinum the first week. I have 5 different things that I'm doing. And I'll tell them to you after I'm finished.
Oh, so well, I thought the whole point was to tell them on air.
Yeah, but not now. But you probably have another question. I don't want to dominate the time. I'm Sagittarius.
You are.
I am a Sagittarius.
You are a Sagittarius. That's why we get along.
Yeah.
I'm not my rising sign is Sagittarius, so I think that's why we get along.
Your rising sign?
Yes. Oh.
It doesn't make a difference if you are Sagittarius by default.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So why did you? Well, obviously it's your sign, but why was it time now to name this album Sagittarius?
This album depicts everything of a true Sagittarius, meaning me, but it depicts sex, love, lust, caring, entrepreneurship, emotion, feelings, vibe, everything that embodies a Sagittarius individual
is on this album.
Because I didn't start it off with, this is how we're going to put the album together. No, every song came with a vision and a vibe.
Okay.
Everywhere from, I have a song called Churches and Angels, right? People depict what it means. Like a previous album was called The City of Churches. And that was about, I'm from Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is nicknamed the City of Churches.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. So people's like, why do you call it? But the name stuck. And now I have a song called Churches and Angels. And the Churches and Angels depicts, you know, the godliness of a person, but also the house of where the godliness comes from. Because I spit, like I can really rap. So I spit heavenly and it's housed in me. But the flip side of that is I'm from Brooklyn, which is churches. And the feature on that is a gentleman named Grapevine of a hip hop group I used to totally admire called Trends of Culture. And he's from California. And California is the city of what?
Angels.
Churches and Angels.
Yeah.
So he's featured on it. So it's Churches and Angels.
Love it.
Right. And, those names intrigue people.
Sure.
Like, you have Mindminx, right? You know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your mind must be sexy as hell, right? And then when you see you like, I can see why.
Aw.
So see,
I'm gonna blush.
so you know what it is, and each name of the songs are based on what they really are. Like Fuego is featuring like Argentina's like sweetheart Serena. So she's from Argentina. She's featured on the song called Fuego, and it's a Latin song.
Okay.
So, and basically because I'm hot, she's hot, and it's Fuego. And when you hear it, you'll understand why. Another song the video is called Secret, right? And it tells you what it is. It's featuring like my man, he's from New Jersey. His name is J Marv. We call him J Marv the Martian.
Okay.
But J Marv is like an amazing singer. He's like a Billboard award winner. He writes for like some of the major artists. And I don't throw out names, but Chris Brown, Trey Songz.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah, so right. He does. He doesn't write as well as I do. But anyway, that's another story, another textbook. But no, he actually writes very well. So him being, I've seen the work he's done. And Secrets is basically a hook he came up with, and I had the words, the actual rap words. Mm-hmm. It basically describes the secrets that we all keep. Mm-hmm. Like, what is the secret you have? Don't say it. But I'm saying like a secret of mine is I have a lot of humility. But the secret is don't come for me rap-wise, because I do write like I got a test due. When people like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come, because he on this pop stuff. But no, and I have to correct that. I write like I got a paper due for school. So don't do it. It's not in your best interest. So leave me alone, And they do, because I came up with groups like Cellar Dwellers. I came up with groups like Talib Kweli, Mos Def, that we used to cipher all the time. Mm-hmm. I came up on Park Place in Nostrand in the basement, where they had DOS Effects, Busta Rhyme, Rampage, Gage, all of those rappers that it was no, oh, holla. It was like, go. And that was it. And you had to hold your own. MC Lyte was there, Kwame was there. So, it was hip hop. And, we didn't have like auto-tune. We didn't have,
right.
Let me, press and stop. We didn't have, so it was raw talent, and raw talent transcribed into what we are. And that's what, I think where we're coming back to right now is raw talent. And that's what put that album on the charts. And, you have to fight against the grain sometime, but I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
I mean, I think that's part of the game. You have to be able to have that thick skin. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that, that certain je ne sais quoi that you have is something...
I like that word. I use that word kind of. Mm.
Do you feel that that's something that you've always had? Because I remember you said earlier that, you kind of had to like become who you are. But did you always have that? Like, I just feel a lot of other artists start so much more grittier and then have to kind of like clean themselves up. Like if you think about like some of the other bigger names when they first started out, they were just like rappers, whereas I feel like you've always had this persona. Like I don't, even first time in studio when you're in your vest with your baseball cap, you still had this air about you, where I feel like other artists had to build a certain level of their fame, quote unquote, before they cleaned up. Do you feel like you've always had that, or did you have to do the same thing?
As you were speaking, I was thinking about something. I'm just going to say it. Let's just say this. I've always been an Etcetera. I'll say that. I never did music that wasn't really outside of my personality. And I was ridiculed for it. It was like, oh, that popcorn music don't make any money.
You sure about that?
Yeah, exactly. So I stayed steadfast to what I loved and what I knew how to do. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I grew up in the hood, but I'm not hood.
Right. That's
right?
my point.
I'm like a t-shirt. Ain't nothing hood about me, but it doesn't mean that I can't defend or those things can't happen. I know a lot of hood people. It's just that I chose not to go that route. I've always, like, when people used to, back in the days, they used to wear, you had like the Onyx groups. Like when everybody was wearing black, I was wearing orange. As you can see, I wear bright colors.
We had this conversation before.
I wore like, I used to love like Ralph Lauren when they had like the colorful stuff. People used to like, wow, you blinded me. Basically, and in transition, I hung around stars. So I adapted what it was to conduct yourself as a professional and as a star. So, like, and I know they're probably gonna get on me, I'm gonna get calls, but I hung around people like Kwame. I hung around people like Tone from Trackmasters, who then hung around MC Lights. I hung around Sylvia Rome's, I hung around stars. And at that time, they were just people I knew or people I was with. But they conducted themselves a certain way.
Right.
So I said, in order for me to be a star, in order for me to want to be a star, I have to be in an environment of stars. Like if you want to be a technician or you want to be a, music producer, my thing is hang around a technician. Hang around music producers. Don't hang around, don't be in a coffee shop making coffee if you want to be this. Hang around people, the trajectory you want to go. So that's what I did. Even I hung around people, and I'll be honest with you, I hung around people that made a lot of money and doing music. So they told me, you don't always have to be in the forefront to make a lot of money doing music. And that's what I did.
How did you do that?
So.
Go ahead, tell him. I want to tell him. He was a ghostwriter. He was a ghostwriter.
You could tell. Right. But I used to ghostwrite.
But for who?
I can't tell that. I signed. But I used to ghostwrite. When I think I wasn't prepared to make my own records, I used to ghostwrite for artists. I used to ghostwrite and submit records. Sometimes I got paid, sometimes I didn't. But I also got the recognition of inner industry. They were like, okay, call him. And, I would never say who I wrote for because that's, that's like breaking a code.
You're showing the respect. Yeah,
it's not even a contract. It's a code. And that's how I built Capital. And when it was time for me to release records, I knew what they did because I watched people like, Sylvia Rome. I watched people like Mike Kaiser. I watched people like, I watched the people at Def Jam. I watched the people at Uptown. I watched the people at Bad Boy. I watched the people at Atlantic. A gentleman named, a friend of mine, Rick Betterman, he was the radio director. When he introduced my first record, when I was a group called Etcetera, called Bees Like That, and he showed me how mixtapes work. He showed me how, back when it was Fat Joe and Cuban Links, and big shout out to Cuban Links, but they showed me how all that works. So guess what? And Sydney and Atlantic back then, they showed me how that works. And I was like, okay. And I did it. I did it just like that. The people were in place and we did it just like that. Records were sold, you know, and I never stopped selling. It's just you made the people, well, I can't even say the people change. The game changed, but the machine doesn't really change. Maybe how the machine works, you may press the button on top and on the bottom, but the machine doesn't stop. But I also humble, like I don't like go around like, oh yeah, I got this. Because I'm still from Brooklyn. IRS is watching and the hood is watching. You don't tell people what you got and what you do. They see it, but you don't know for sure because I ain't open my mouth.
Well, so we actually talked about that because you don't like being such a public person because of,
not with that.
But it's interesting because you're in a completely wrong industry to have a private life.
Well, yeah, but I do like certain things I won't say.
Right.
Like I don't talk about like love life.
Right.
And I don't talk about finances.
Right.
Like you'll never hear me say, certain things. And tell you the truth, I don't think it's people business. You didn't come to hear me talk about what I got.
Right.
You come to hear me display a talent.
So again, that circles back to your humbleness because you're not trying to prove anything. You've already proven it.
I've walked Grammy red carpets when they swear that I couldn't.
Yep.
When I was little, and it's coming up when I say little, coming up in the game, I was like, I want to be in the Grammys. They said, oh, you'll never do that. 15 years later, I've been on every Grammy red carpet, American Music Awards, and some people still don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's like I used to watch the awards and be like, I've never seen that artist, but yet that artist has sold millions. Mm-hmm. That's the artist I want to be because I could still walk the streets of Brooklyn. I could still walk. And they be like, and that's my whole, how do you say, shtick? Or
Shtick.
That's my whole shtick. Like, I'm here to showcase my talent. I'm here to show you who I am. And some people like I've never seen, Etcetera. Now they know because I'm on the front cover of multiple magazines now. I do billboards. I'm in videos. I even do children's music with a friend of mine named Father Goose and Dan Zane that won Grammys. That been on. We did Disney World, Sesame Place, been on Playhouse Disney, and people like how. So I go from Playhouse Disney to BMF, right? And they're like, how? I said because I'm an artist. I'm a multi-award-winning recording artist. Understand that. And that's why, like everyone gets on the court. Everyone could shoot a three, but everyone's not Steph Curry. Right?
Right.
Everyone's not Ray Allen.
Right.
So that's what I said. And if I'd rather for you to say you don't know me and then I own the building that you sit in. Because to tell you the truth, if I ask anyone who owns the Barclay, you don't know. They could sit right next to you.
Right.
I've sat in meetings where the person that sat next to me owns Hanes. And I'm like, you don't look like what I pictured.
Interesting comment.
Yeah, but you don't have to know who I am.
Right.
Those that know who I am know who I am.
Right.
If you don't know, you're not the person that needs to know.
Yeah.
But when I go and pack arenas, I can't say not yet. I would love to say it. When I go and pack stadiums and I pack shows or I do shows and certain people, because you don't need a lot of people. You need the right people.
Right.
And that's it.
That's the
and
difference.
I'll transition to, whenever you're ready, I'll start telling you the other stuff.
That's perfect transition. That's a perfect segue because you've conquered, it seems like, every aspect of the music industry at a certain level.
Almost.
I know. Yeah, I know that,
Almost.
but you're your biggest critic. You could have everything and you'd still say it's
you're
almost.
Right. You're right.
So, you're expanding. You're
Yeah.
Well, we already knew that you were the only brand ambassador for Lamborghini's champagne.
No, actually I wasn't. I was the only brand ambassador because it was what we had up there. We had Nick Cannon and we had Nick Cannon started it. And I have to say big shout out to Blue Williams who actually co-signed for me to be on there. He was the manager of Outkast. He's a huge talent. in this game. He co-signed for me to be there, and then you had Wyclef's cousin, who has a studio in New York City now. But I was after all said and done, I was then the only. After it was all, I was the only brand ambassador for Lamborghini Champagne.
I still have that bottle. I still haven't even opened yet. It's still on my.
Don't open it.
I'm not going to open it.
It's actually in Total Wines, and that was one of the things that I was very proud of. That was my first initial, and for Lamborghini to approach me, and for me to have conversations with them about that brand and me having the ads for it, that goes to show that I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, you're not.
Wrong.
Listen, value knows value. So they weren't going to approach you if there wasn't a similarity. I'm not saying that they saw value in you. No, they saw the value that you had that mimics theirs.
Yeah. I also kind of convinced them too.
You can.
Yeah, when they said, I was like, okay, I'll do this. No, I got it. And it was like, go ahead. And then it proved to be a viable investment.
Well, so fast forward however many years.
Well,
Well, how did that wait, so by the way, he sends me a text message the other night, and he's like, look at this. And I'm like, are you effing kidding? Well, I can curse. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is so cool. So can we hold up the bottle?
Okay. So can I see it? Can you see it?
I can see it. Can you guys see it? Yeah.
I feel like I'm on
they can
Wheel
see
of
it.
Fortune or something like that.
Yeah.
So what this is it's a company called Caribbean Moonshine, and Mike and Steve are like the amazing guys. The real stick is we were in Florida, and we were at, my wife and I and the kids was at Florida, and I said I finally got a vacation. We was in Florida for Christmas, and we were going to Disney the next day, and there was a display, and I walked right by it, and my wife was like, stopped, looked at it, looked around, tasted, I like this, and then she pulled me over, and she said, this would be great. And I was like, what is that? And then I looked at it, and then fast forward, the two gentlemen that own it was amazing. Like, Mike and Steve, I don't even know. They're too nice to be part of, a cutthroat business. But let me hold it up one more time. It's Caribbean Moonshine, and this is the brand exclusively for me called Sagittarius, Etcetera. They developed the whole rum, peanut butter and chocolate rum blend and dedicated it to me. And now I dedicated it to the 50 years of hip hop. For the same game that made me who I am, I dedicated the first actual self-proclaimed liquor, rum, to hip hop. Because I don't know where I'd be without hip hop. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if hip hop was a person, I would bow down. So, but I still bow down to all the greats that came before me. So they actually, we talked for a little while with Caribbean Moonshine, and they saw a value, same way Lamborghini saw a value, and they were like, we like you as a person, and now we like your music. However, I invited them out because I had a album listening in LA for the Grammys for Sagittarius.
I remember.
And they came out there, and it was an amazing venue. We rented out a studio, an incredible studio that actually was the first studio that Michael Jackson did ABC at, because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. Yeah, and we did it. They came out along with some other people. IHL was one of the sponsors. We had Diana. She's gonna kill me for getting her last name wrong, but she's like a fashion designer. Great, I met her out there. James Corbett actually put the fashion show together for me, and my whole Idol Music Group team. I Am Etcetera Radio was out there. BPM Beats was out there. DJ Charlie Sharp, big shout out. I had we threw an extravaganza, and they were there, and they said, we have to do this. And that was it. Next thing you know, but it wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't like, oh, let's create this liquor. I mean, we had to go through a lot of, legal stuff, but it actually it's going to be in Total Wines. It's actually going to be in a couple of different outlets. And then we're going to just like a commemorative box. Doing a commemorative box, a commemorative bottle dedicated to hip hop. And I thought that was I thought it was amazing, and I really do appreciate them guys for doing that. I really do. And it's not like a PSA commercial, me saying that. I really do. Like, it when it came to my house, I was like,
ooh, you let them come to your house.
Yeah, I let the bottle came to my house. They didn't come yet.
Oh.
They didn't come out. Yeah, the bottle came to my house, and I was just amazed how much time and effort they put into
It's great. That label is
that.
Beautiful.
It is. Let me put it over here so you can see it.
Yeah, no, that label is beautiful.
These guys did an amazing job, and the box, is going to be an amazing box. So they're selling the bottle like this, and then the box is going to be like a collector's item.
Nice.
And it's only going to be 100 boxes.
Oh, so it's limited edition.
Yeah, very limited edition with the box.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but so far, we've sold some prematurely, and I was like, we haven't even dropped it yet. And he was like, you got to be kidding me! This is definitely going out. We were going to premiere it at SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, and it's still going to do that, but we haven't decided on that yet. But I really want to say, and that's because the album is doing very well. Mm-hmm. So, Sagittarius. That's why the sign is so powerful. Sagittarius is like, I knew when it happened, I was like, it's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. And even, the rave reviews I get from it, and I'm a critic, and I'll say, you're saying that. They're like, no, honestly, I can depict. And it's actually 12 songs on the album. Mm-hmm. Oh. Because it's 13 because it's a remix, but it's 12 songs, original songs on the album, because it's 12 months of the year.
Right.
So it's 12 songs on the album, and it ranges so diverse that I'm sitting on about 5 to 6 different charts at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sitting on Latin charts, I'm sitting on gospel charts, I'm sitting on pop charts, I'm sitting on club charts, and I'm sitting on hip-hop charts.
Wait, so is this something that you strategically plan for, or did this, it just happened?
No, it's vibes. Like, I love hip-hop music, hands down. I love house music. I love reggae music. I love pop music. Like, one of the pop songs I have is called Dance For You, featuring Kaya Jones from the Pussycat Dolls. Mm-hmm. I love the Pussycat Dolls. So why wouldn't I have a Pussycat Doll on my single? I love vintage hip hop. So I have a song called, featuring Trisha Covington.
I love that song. That's one of the original songs that I got to hear when we first met. And
she's like hip hop female R&B royalty to me. So, I was talking to my man. I was like, yo, he said, Trisha Covington's my wife, well, formerly. And I was like, stop playing with me. I'm hanging up the phone. He said, no. Fast forward, and her daughter wrote the hook. So I was flabbergasted. And when I hear the song, it puts me in the mind of Mary J. and Method Man, of how we put it together. Mm-hmm. And it was produced by someone that is on Florida. Like, his name is My Friend Thane from a group called Dear Tatiana. I was like, it just came together. And then I kept going, like, between that. And I like to bring in classic artists and new artists. Mm-hmm. So My Friend Thane is a new artist, right? He does like alternative music, right? And he's well known. Then I brought in, like I said, Grapevine. I brought in Trisha Covington, Kaya Jones. I I brought in pop Serena. So those are the things that, it's a vibe. Like, I love it. Like, you have a vibe. Like, today you could listen to, like you said, Dolly Parton. Tomorrow you feel in the mood for,
some French music.
Carlos Santana. Right.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing. It's a mood. It's a mood. It's a vibe. And guess what? It all plays a part when they play it on my radio station, Etcetera Radio, featuring DJ Brooklyn Rich. It comes on every Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And where?
And
on iHeartRadio.
It's on iHeartRadio, BPMB Beats and iHeartRadio. And I did that because Rich was doing like my daughter's clothing premiere stores. And I was like, I've been fighting for an iHeartRadio station for like years. So DJ Charlie Sharp, which is BPM Beats 1, he has a whole conglomerate. He was like, I just want to know if you, want a station. I was like, on iHeart and you? I see how long I've been asking for. I've been to the iHeart Music Awards. I'm on the iHeart charts. Nothing. Now I said, absolutely. 3 years later, we have like almost 600,000 listeners. The music is incredible. We play everything. We play indie, major, and all in between. As long as it's like, we still got to follow the no curse rule.
Right.
And,
Oh, that would be tough.
Yeah, I know. And that's the same thing Brooklyn Rich tells me. Oh my God, I gotta the cursing. I'm like, yeah, but but even me, I have some curse words in my records, but they're like
very minimal.
Right. I try not to curse a lot in records. Let me sit up straight because I don't want to slouch. Then we talking about I'm slouching.
Oh yeah, he's been getting some coaching. Mr. Getting Super Famous on Me has he was on a very popular morning show.
Well, I do a lot of them.
Yeah,
I do a lot of them, and that's another transition in life. I went, I do a lot of hip hop shows, but I do now daytime talk shows. And that's why I have to sit like a daytime talk show.
So he's getting coaching. You're getting coaching on how to properly.
The colors have to radiate off the camera.
Well, and so that's why we chose where you sat, because the colors will complement each other on camera.
It won't contrast off.
No,
yeah,
that would have looked stupid. Wait, so really quickly.
All right.
So we have a couple of check-ins on the live streaming. So Vincenza said that she loves you and that you're truly the best. And congratulations.
She's great.
And Philip Butler said that you're his nephew. That you're so humble and really is a great person. 100%. I agree. I concur 100% that you really are humble.
That's my uncle. I thought that actually 90% of what I grew up and learned is from him.
Oh.
Yeah, he was like one of my biggest role models. He taught me the difference in, good, bad, or indifferent. He taught me that. He played that fine line, and he's always been like a stand-up guy. Like I really admire my Uncle Phil.
Well, so we talked about, having to be coached on camera, having to sit a certain way, but that's translated itself into a different arena now, because I understand you have a show coming out. Is that?
Why, you really do pay attention?
I do pay attention,
yes.
Darling.
I gotta talk to these people. So, to make a long story even longer, over COVID, when I was working on this album, how you how to take a break sometimes.
I'll take a break to open another business or something like that.
I did. Well, let's say this. I did a song called Way Up, which is on this album. I did the video for it, and it got caught in the COVID wave, which I feel didn't get the attention it was supposed to get. So putting on this album sort of re-sparked it. But the video was written based on Way Up, like things that you want to see done. And it was produced by my man, Fran Sean Corbett. Big up to Fran. He's like the producing god to me. I did a skit like in the beginning. I used these two gentlemen. I started off with Kenny Rock, which was brother to my friend Tony Rock, which is also brother to Chris Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, and all the Rock family. Big shout out to the Rock family. So what happened was, and he brought along another friend, Demencio Chambers. He was on a, Dave Chappelle show. So I did a skit with them, and I called it, Dio and Kenny. They're trying to get into the club together. They do the little antics of trying to get in the club, but they work together as a unit. They were technically brothers working together as a unit.
Okay.
And fast forward, I wanted to shoot my own little sitcom.
Okay.
And we had hooked up with Dio introduced me to another writer, and he had a similar story he was working before. So all I did, we meshed it together. We just co-wrote it, and we shot it. Like I took a production company, and we went into, big shout out to my man Jay Protect. We went into his house that we weren't using at the time, his apartment in Brooklyn, and we shot a pilot called Dio and Kenny. And I said, this is dope. We're really going to do this. We shot the whole thing.
Wow.
I had a bunch of different actors in it. That I had some actors I wanted to put in it, but I said, let's shoot this very simple. Fast forward, I said, we're going to shop this. So Tony Rock is the executive producer of it. And, I talked to him a couple of times, like, Tony, what do you think I should do? Because he did shows. He did, like, Living Biblically on CBS. He did, a show on BET. He was on, I want to get it right, Will Smith and Jada's show, was All of Us, I believe it is, with, Dwayne Martin. They had a show on. So I was like, okay. And so I asked his opinion. I also asked Kelly Perrine, which was on another show with Flex. And, I wanted to get their opinion because they was on sitcoms already. And I spoke to a production manager and a director named Michael B. I get his last name messed up all the time, but Michael B. Boggon, I believe that's it. He's probably going to kill me for getting it wrong. But he is like a director extraordinaire. I did Pam Mr. Spaghetti movie. He was the co-director of that movie. That movie actually soared. And I did a lot of other soundtracks for other movies, but particularly that, I value his opinion as well. So long story short, he introduced me to, I'd say Seth, and Seth is an agent. And I brought Seth out to LA. Well, he lived in LA, but I brought him to the album release or album listening. And he said, I really like that project you did. We're going to work on it. So I said, okay, here's somebody else telling me that they're going to work on it. And one agent that I'm not going to say, he said, you don't have the right writers. You don't have the writers that's, part of the industry. He said, the only reason why I'm taking this interview and I'm entertaining this interview is because of your musical background, the success you had in music. I said, so not that I can write any of this, not that I even made an effort. Basically, you're entertaining me because of music that has nothing to do with this. No problem. That sort of inspired me even more. So long story short, they just picked up the sitcom, and it's Tubi, but Tubi now is a part of Fox.
Yep.
So I'm part of the new regime, like the Tubi on Fox. And I was like, yes.
It's happening.
Yes.
It is happening.
Right? And the crazy thing about it is I haven't even really absorbed it yet.
That was going to be my next question. Out of everything that we've talked about this evening, has it hit you yet?
None of it really hit me yet. It's like you keep moving and it's like raining outside and you don't really realize it's raining, or you don't realize the sun is out because you're constantly moving inside of a house or outside. It hasn't really, the album sales haven't hit me yet. The success of the album, the magazine covers haven't hit me yet.
The awards on your shelf?
The awards, and let me just be honest with you, and I hate to say this, all the awards are not on my shelf.
Oh.
The awards are on the floor. But they're pulled
okay. But the awards, wherever they're sitting, hasn't hit you yet.
Nah. I appreciate it. I got it. When I accept them, I appreciate it. And I really, I appreciate to the point where I adore being acknowledged for anything, whether it's anything. I adore the radio station. It hasn't hit me yet. It's like constant movement, a chain. None of it's really hit me yet. I mean, even down to me being one of the first people to wear those sneakers, those Freshie sneakers that you have.
I almost
Big
wore
shout
my
out
Freshies.
to Scott.
Yep.
He adorned me with like a brand new pair of Freshie sneakers a year before they came out because I said I like those. He sent them to me. He sponsors a lot of the events, and he was just on like Good Day America, Good Morning America. I know I'm not supposed to say it, but he was on a popular daytime talk show. Popular daytime talk show. You're gonna edit that out.
We're live streaming.
Right. And I was instrumental in like, I think you need to go purchase these because I have them on. These are great. I've worn them in at least 3 events, major events. I put you in them for Times Square.
Yep, for
I
New
put
York
the
Fashion
host in them
Week.
for Times Square. And people was like, I got to get those.
Yep.
And they went out and bought them, and I see them on people's feet. None of that has hit me yet that I can, influence that. I just think that God writes this script, and all I'm doing is
playing
a part.
Wow.
And I figured I don't want to stop because I don't want to disappoint.
Disappoint who? You or yourself or someone else?
God.
Okay.
I figured that he gave me the talent. I cultivated the talent. Like I was a kid when you talked about things. No, I used to sit in the house. I didn't have the star mentality. I used to sit in the house all the time. I was on punishment so much. It was such a shame. I was on punishment for every day. My mother used to be like, guess what you're doing this week? I said, so I was a smart mouth. So, all I did was write. So when all of this happens, it's like once you start, I didn't want to stop. And, it's the grace of God that all this stuff is coming to. Like I could even come on this show and have this many things to talk about, because the album is one thing. The radio station, the TV show, the liquor,
the alcohol,
the sponsors, stuff like that. And to be placed in these categories is like the Grammy Awards, the American Music Awards, to say this, the tours, and, and still have a regular life. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And still, still be able to smile at the end of the day.
You definitely do smile, sir.
I love smiling. I love smiling. I could get like the teeth whitening sometimes as I get the sun. The sun gets in here.
I did mine.
Cause it, yes.
All right, so can you believe our hour is up?
It's up?
It is up.
Okay.
So I want to thank you for sharing everything that you just shared.
Oh, I appreciate it. I love sharing this. It makes me listen. I want to inspire some people.
I'm sure you have.
I'm
sure you have.
Yeah.
All right, so tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on social media. You can start at The Real Etcetera.
He'll
The Real
also be
Etcetera
tagged.
fan page. Idol Music Group, Inc. I'm Etcetera Radio Live. I'm Etcetera Radio. You can even go to the K-Marie Project.
Yep.
It's my daughter.
Yep.
And you could go to IamEtcetera.com and see everything that I've done or am about to do. And you can ask somebody. You could go to your next door neighbor and say, where's Etcetera going to be at tomorrow? They'll probably be able to tell you. But I really appreciate being on here.
Always.
To me,
Always.
This is like, I can't wait till the next time I come here. And because right now I'm treating this like I'm being on David Letterman.
I love it.
You are Denise Letterman.
Denise Letterman.
No.
Thank you. All right. So everyone, this was Etcetera.
Yes.
I can, not just my guest, but a personal friend. So we usually air on Sundays. So I'm used to saying, it's a brand new week, so go own it. But so go own your weekend. You deserve it. But mind your favorite minx and join us next time. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, buy the album.
Buy the album,
Buy the album, Etcetera. Sagittarius out right now. I'd love for you to listen to it and tell me your opinion.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.